Scammers are getting more and more sophisticated by the day, so it's more important than ever that we know how to protect our parents from them. But I know that you're busy. I know that you don't have the time to log into your parents' accounts every day and make sure that they're not getting robbed. Now, the good news is you don't have to. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 easy things that you can apply today that will do the guarding for you. We'll cover how to freeze the scammers out of your parents' accounts, how to protect their house from grifts, and how to catch any financial abuse before they lose a single dime. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Ethan Carbo, and I love helping families learn about caregiving. It's what I'm totally passionate about, and the goal of this channel is to help you by giving you good information so that you can make good decisions for your family. So, thanks for being here, and with that said, let's jump into the video. If you're anything like me, when you think of a scam, the first thing that comes to mind is a strange number calling you on your phone, telling you that your extended warranty is out or that your insurance is expiring or something like that. But the scary thing is that scams have become very sophisticated in recent years, to the point where they don't even need your parent to answer the phone in order to get them in big trouble. And research shows that our parents are at extra high risk. A recent report by the Federal Trade Commission shows that sophisticated fraud rings are specifically targeting aging adults because they typically have really good credit. The playbook for a scammer is to steal your parents' identity, use their good credit to open a big loan, and cash out before the account freezes. Now, if they're able to do this, it's typical that a victim won't even know that anything happened to them until debt collectors start calling. So, how do we stop this? Well, the good news is that there is a solution that is completely free and pretty easy to set up. All you need to do is initiate a protected consumer credit freeze. As an analogy, think of a credit freeze as a padlock that you put on a filing cabinet that holds your parents' financial reputation. Basically, no one's able to access their financial reputation to open up a new loan unless they have the key to that lock. When a credit file is frozen, the credit bureau can't send their report to new lenders. Banks require a report from the credit bureau in order for them to create new loans. So if they don't get this report, then the scammer can't make a new loan out of your parents' identity, so they're completely stopped. Now, I told you that the solution to this is completely free, and it is, but you want to be aware that the credit bureaus are for-profit companies that want to make money, so they will advertise something called a credit lock, and I don't necessarily recommend that you go with this, because they are paid subscriptions that have slightly fewer protections anyway. Now, the credit bureaus are legally mandated to help you for free anyway, and to comply with the federal rules, so I would recommend just saving the money and going with the system that is designed and backed by the federal government. In the US, there are 3 major credit bureaus that track debt. There's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and you'll need to contact all 3 of them. So via mail, you'll have to send them a copy of your parents' ID and a copy of your durable power of attorney. Now, I just made a video talking all about why that document is so important to have. This is just another reason. In this case, it tells them that you have legal capacity over your parents' finances and can act on their behalf. But before you send anything, you have to go to the websites of those 3 credit bureaus and you gotta look for the Protected Consumer Freeze forms. You'll download them, you'll fill them out, and then with everything together, so the ID, the durable power of attorney copy, and the forms, you'll send that to each of the credit bureaus, and then you should be good to go. They'll send you a letter telling you that everything has been processed, and that is seriously one of the biggest things that you can do to protect your parents' finances. But there are still other scams that we should be aware of. Okay, again, when I think of a scam, I typically think of like a one-time hack where someone gets into an account and is draining it. But what's actually much more common than this, and especially with older people, is that they're being taken advantage of by scammers slowly over time with these small amounts that kind of fly under the radar. Now, this can be a lot of different things. It can be like a fake charity that is billing them monthly, or a shady contractor that accidentally billed them twice. And unfortunately, a lot of the times it can be something called inheritance impatience. And that's where a caregiver, or unfortunately even like a family member, can be slowly siphoning funds out of their parents' account and kind of justifying to themselves that, oh yeah, my parent doesn't need it anymore. But because it's still done kind of sneakily, it's stealing. So we need to make sure that this kind of thing is being taken care of and that nothing can kind of fly under the radar with our parents' finances. Now, all of these scams thrive in secrecy and really only work if no one's watching the accounts. But you can't exactly just like commandeer your parents' accounts without them feeling like a child. So the next best thing is something called view-only access. Almost all modern banks will allow you to set up a secondary guest login for your parents' accounts. Now, this is view access only, so you can't move any of the funds or touch any of the money or do anything like that, but you can look at their financial transactions. And that's really all you need. With only 5 minutes a week of looking through their financial transactions, you can make sure that nothing shady is going on. Now, it's worth noting that your parent might not be too excited to give you this kind of access to their finances. I mean, it depends on the family, but for a lot of families, finances can be pretty private. So what I would recommend is while you're talking to your parents about this, that you frame it as like an IT security kind of angle, where you can tell them that scammers are getting just really sophisticated and high tech these days, which they are, and that by getting access to their account, you'll be able to kind of keep an eye out for the scammers so that they don't have to. So you're kind of taking off this big burden off of their shoulders and putting it onto yours, and that way it just kind of everyone has that peace of mind going into this. So it might just be able to take off some of the edge for what might be a touchy subject. Now, there's another really common scam that's happening right now, and to me, it's the worst of the lot because it's totally based on fear. Now, imagine that your parent gets a call and the caller ID says that it's their bank. When they answer the phone, there's a person who says that their bank account is compromised and that the solution to that is that they have to drive to their bank and take out their money and turn it over to a new safe account. Now, if the teller actually processes that transaction, that money is gone forever. Fortunately, banks and tellers are getting much better at spotting this. So if a bank system sees a weird transaction and flags it, or if a teller notices that your parent is stressed or under duress, then they have the full right to cancel the transaction. In this kind of situation, it would be really good if you, as the son or daughter, could be involved. But because of strict privacy laws, the bank legally can't call you to verify a weird transaction. That is, unless you have something called a Trusted Contact Designation set up ahead of time. Now, this is really easy to set up. All you got to do is go to the bank with your parent, ask about the Trusted Contact Designation, and they'll get you squared away super quick. Now, the good thing about this is that if your parent was ever being exploited or if the bank did ever flag a weird transaction, they could call you and then you could verify, oh yeah, like I know that that's something that my parent has been talking about, or no, like that I don't recognize that, make sure that you cut them off. It definitely protects your parents from this kind of scam. Okay, the credit is frozen, the cash is being watched, and you and the bank are working together to look for scams. This is great. But there's still one thing that we need to cover. How do we protect the biggest asset of them all? The house. What's crazy is that there are scammers out there who will forge your parents' name on a warranty deed, get a fake notary seal, and give it to a county clerk. Now, county clerks aren't investigators, so if the margins are right and the seal is there, then they're obligated to record it. So what a scammer could do is that they could take your parents' title and pull out a major cash out mortgage against your parents' house and then skip town. There's stories out there of people who didn't even know that they were being taken advantage of in this way until a foreclosure notice came in. So we need to solve for the fact that basically your parents' house can be stolen on paper. We need a system that protects the deed itself. Now, the solution is actually super easy and again, free. It's called a property fraud alert. These are done at the county level. So what you need to do is you need to go to Google and you need to type in property fraud alert and then your parents' county name. Now, each county website will be a little bit different, so I can't go over it exactly in this video, but basically you just need to figure out how to get your parent in their system. Once that's done, if any sort of document is ever officially recorded against your parents' property, they'll send out an alert. And ideally to you, typically you can have it set up so that it sends an alert to your personal phone or email. But if you ever get any sort of alert, what you'll need to do is you'll need to call a real estate attorney, file an emergency injunction, and hopefully freeze the title before the scammer can extract any sort of equity. Scammers typically target the low-hanging fruit. So just by setting up these 4 security measures, you're protecting your parents from the vast majority of ways that people can get at their money. I know managing all this can feel overwhelming, but taking these steps shows how much you really care. So now the scammers can't get your parents' money, but you know who can? The care industry. And they do some pretty shady things to do it. So click this video right here where I expose every hidden fee in the carrot industry and the exact step-by-step things that you can do to save your family thousands. Click this video. I'm Ethan Carbo, and I'll see you there.